So I want to talk to anybody today that struggles with relationships. Amen, right? I have struggled my whole life romantically. And I wish that someone had told me how to date when I was younger. Let me tell you. Would have saved so much heartbreak, I imagine. So I've learned that when you're dating, when you're getting to know someone, you really have to not let your feelings take over so much. That's usually what would happen to me. I'd feel a certain way, so I would think that, this must mean that I'm supposed to be with them. Well, no, I didn't take into consideration all of the red flags or the important things to look for because I never knew. Nobody taught me. I was never taught what to look for, even what a healthy relationship looked like. And I imagine if I had been taught that, it would have saved so much time, energy. I mean, granted, I'm happy that I've learned what I've learned because it was for a reason, but let me just get started. So definitely look at someone's values. What do they value? When you're getting to know someone, what do they value? Do they value family? Do they value their religion? Some kind of spirituality? Do they value their kids? Do they value you? Do they value... Look at what is important to them. So know that first off. And that's kind of simple. I mean, sometimes I feel like people don't always know what they value, and that might be hard for them to answer right away. But I think with some thought, most people can answer that and be relatively, sure. But that doesn't mean that their actions fall in line with it. So you also have to kind of give it time. Don't rush into it too fast. Don't rush into a serious relationship too fast. But if you want it to be serious, it's important that your values are aligned, which also means you have to know your values. You have to know what is important to you, what you need and want out of life that's going to make you feel fulfilled and loved and satisfied. So value, but definitely watch over time, watch and see how their actions align with what they say that their values are. And be upfront about yours, because if you value family and this person that you're meeting and that you're talking to really doesn't, and you can clearly see that, then yeah, you might, be able to be with them for a little while, but long term, you're probably going to be unsatisfied, which will just lead to a ton of troubles down the road that could be avoided. So values, definitely one. Next, pay attention to their character. And this was big for me when I realized that this was something I never even thought to think of when I'm dating. I never would have. I didn't know that was a thing. It's sad to say that, but I didn't even think of it in this way of how do they behave. So try to see how a person behaves in situations kind of over time. I mean, maybe not just one standalone, because everybody has tough days or has, certain situations that you can't necessarily look at in isolation. But if you tend to see that this person typically treats other people with contempt or judgment, and you see that consistently, that's a red flag if that's, especially if it makes you uncomfortable. Because, I mean, that could lead to, that's probably a character trait. I mean, if they're typically, you see them judging people, you hear them judging people, they probably gonna judge you, and that's tough to, have a healthy relationship when dealing with a person that is very judgmental or harsh with other people. So observe how they are in challenging situations. You see how they handle it. Can they be kind to people? Do you typically see them wrapped up in dramatic things, even when they're just, going to the grocery store, those kind of things that they might seem little at the start, especially when you're feeling all of the excitement of a new relationship and you're having all these feelings. It's hard to overlook these type of things. Trust me, I know. But it's so important to really observe how someone is consistently in different situations, because that's a good indicator that that's how that person really is. I mean, they're showing you how they are. And if it's something that, if that's something that really doesn't bother you, fine. But if you don't like that, don't overlook that early just because you're having, because you're really attracted to them, or because, you're having all of these good feelings because it's early on. Try to really pay attention and look for red flags. Also, so values for sure, character. So what is important to them? How do they behave in situations? And I also think it's important to think of how you actually feel when you're around them. And this is tough because it's really, you have to be able to be in touch with your body very well. But how does your body react when you're around them? Because I've overlooked that before too, thinking that almost like gaslight. It's almost like you're essentially gaslighting yourself if your body's telling you something's off, something's not quite right, but you can't really prove it, so you just kind of rationalize it away. Please be careful. Please be careful doing that, especially time and time again. I have, in my experience, has not ended up well. I'm really advising to just give it time, give it some time, observe them over time, even take notes if you need to, write it down, just whatever it is, whatever you need to do to just remember all of these little things that you wouldn't want long-term with somebody, and then kind of weigh out the good and the bad. But it does take time. Sometimes it could take months to really, because you need to see them act certain ways consistently. You can't just always judge it off one incident. But people show you who they are, which is a really tough concept for me, has been, that you can't always just believe their words, no matter how nice and how much you want to hear what they're saying. Sometimes pretty much always actions speak louder than words, for sure. So how, are their behaviors matching up with what they say? And does your body feel good? Do you feel like you can trust them? Do you feel, and deep down, even if it's hard, or sometimes you think that you don't, your body knows. If you really are honest, your body knows listen to that and believe what the person's showing you. And if they're showing you consistently that they're, you know, kind, compassionate, honest, hardworking, whatever it is that you value in a person, which it's completely, you know, everybody has different things that they value, so it's not just one set thing that makes a healthy relationship. But definitely, my experience, people, they show you who they are, and they do usually show you early on. You just have to know and understand what you're looking for, and know and understand yourself enough to decide what's right for you, and hopefully sooner rather than later, to avoid as much pain as you can if it ends up being an unhealthy relationship. So I hope this helps. I wish somebody would have told me this when I was growing up. I wish I had learned that. So thank you. Like the video. Come back for more. Thank you guys.